Hello and a very warm welcome to the MotoGP Fantasy Live for the Australian Grand Prix. Now, if you're watching along in Europe, it is a very early start to your day here in Barcelona. It's about 3:45 local time. But over in Australia, it's a much more respectable time. And joining us live from Australia is Tony Arbolino, one of the Moto2 title contenders this season in 2023. It's of course going to be a big weekend this weekend in Australia with only 5 rounds to go. There's just 18 points in it in the MotoGP Championship title race. So it's certainly going to be an interesting weekend, as we do know what Phillip Island is like for racing. That race last year was total chaos at the front, and it was really one to mix up and play a pivotal role in the 2022 title chase. So we'll say a good morning to Tony and bring him in now. Tony, hi, welcome along to the MotoGP Fantasy preview. How are you doing? All okay?
Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm good. Feel good.
Good, that's good. So obviously it's going to be a fun weekend, Tony, down in Phillip Island. It's a rider's favourite circuit. I'm sure it's one of your favourites as well. Just how excited are you to ride in Phillip Island again?
Man, that's crazy. Just so good and so glad to be here. That's one of the best race track in the calendar in the world, let's say. So I just feel so ready, feel good weather for the moment. So I still hope like this. We'll keep like this the weather, even if Sunday will be a tricky day for me, for let's say the weather. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to enjoy, to score points and to win races. That's my target. So yeah.
Well, hopefully that can happen, Tony. Of course, we know that 2023 has been a very good year for yourself, but at times there has been a little bit of ups and downs. But at the end of last year, you finished the year extremely strongly. I think you're on the podium in 4 races or something like that in the last 6. So you must have quite a lot of confidence coming into this weekend to do the same this year.
Yeah, that's my target. That's my target, as always. Just not to finish, but to make a good year, So, my target this year was to make victories and podium all the races. But we make sometimes. I think we made 7, 8 podiums. That is not that bad. We still need something more, but yeah, I think I'm in the right mindset to finish in a good way this year. And that's it. Just feel comfortable with my crew. We'll make the best as always.
Well, let's see this weekend, Tony. We hope that we can see you back on top. So let's see how it goes. Now, of course, we do need you to help us a little bit. We need you to have a look at our MotoGP Fantasy team for us. So we'll bring this team in now that we had from last time. So at the minute, Tony, we have Brad Binder and Jack Miller, both the KTM boys, in there in the Gold Riders. Not much of a surprise because last weekend we had Darren Binder. So, of course, he brought in his brother Brad, which makes total sense. Then in the Silver Rider, we have Jorge Martin and Miguel Oliveira. The constructor, as always, is Ducati. They're very expensive at 4.8 million, but it's the one to go with. And the team is Mooney VR46 Racing Team. Now, the tricky thing this week, Tony, is that unfortunately you have no salary remaining in the budget.
That's good. That's nice.
It's
That's
20.3 million.
Sometimes happen to me also in the parties. No salary left.
It happens to all of us, Tony. Yeah, don't worry. So, okay, what it means is that if we're going to make some changes, then it might be just a little bit tricky to make that happen. Oof. Let's see what we can do. I know that you've already spoken that you want to bring Fabio in, so we'll have a quick look down.
Yeah, I want to put Fabio in God Lider.
How much Fabio is?
Yes or yes. Doesn't mind which salary I left.
Okay, so he's 2.9 million, Tony. So if we were going to bring him in directly, we'd either have to remove Jorge Martin or Brad Binder, or you could change... no, you'd have to remove Jorge Martin or Brad Binder, basically.
So I need to keep this money? Like this?
Yes. So say if you want to bring Fabio in, because he's 2.9 million, we'd have to remove a rider more expensive than him, or you could remove 2 riders at the same time. Okay? So...
Yeah. I would like to remove...
Who do you think you'd want to remove?
Oliveira, no?
Yeah, you want to remove Oliveira? Okay, that would give us 2.2 million. We'd still have to remove another rider to make up the 2.9. Jack. Okay. So, now, if we bring Fabio in, it's not going to leave us with a lot left, okay? This is the tricky thing. So Fabio's in goal now. We've only got 1.4 million.
What I should do now? Nothing.
Yeah, in the MotoGP paddock, 1.4 million maybe won't get you too much, but let's see. 1.4 million. We would be left with, it's not looking good. We'd just miss out on Franco Morbidelli. 1.4 million. Joan Mir is 1 million, which is incredibly harsh on Joan. Paul Espargaro is also 1 million.
But a constructor?
The trouble is, if we change the constructor, we're only allowed 2 changes. At the moment, we still need to fill that slot for a rider.
So we need to put one rider.
We need to put a rider in, yes. So we'd only have 2 options.
Well, can I put out? So
this is the tricky thing.
Martin will leave, no? We will leave there, no?
I would say to leave Jorge Martin in there, yeah. He's obviously riding very well at the minute, so it makes sense to have him in.
Yeah,
it's a bit tricky.
Like this. We need to put one more rider.
Yes.
So can you go down, please?
Yes. So we only have 1.4 million, so I believe the only 2 choices we'd have...
Just Joan Mir.
Joan Mir and Paul Espargaro, I think. Yes.
No, I believe in Joan Mir. I believe in Joan Mir.
Yeah, well, he's been getting... excuse me.
He's a champion. I believe in him. Let's put Joan Mir.
Let's put Joan in. Okay, so let's confirm this trade. Now, you wanted Fabio in gold, didn't you? So let's quickly switch those 2.
Fabio in gold.
Let's ask you about that relationship, actually, because obviously you're big friends with Fabio, and we often see you in his garage and
I always believe in Fabio. Always.
Yeah, but how nice is it to have that level of support from such a rider like Fabio?
Yeah, I mean, for me, he's first of all such a good person. First of all, it's really friend of mine. So, I mean, it's always nice to have him close by my side. And that's it. I mean, I believe in him. I respect him as a person and also as a rider because he's a champion and he's so good. So for me, he's for sure with Mark the best rider in the MotoGP class.
Yeah, absolutely. I think many people would agree with that. Mark, Fabio, maybe someone like Brad Binder up there as well, with kind of the top 3 talented in MotoGP as well, and of course Pecco too. So your team as it stands at the minute then is we obviously have Brad Binder in there, Fabio Quartararo in gold too, after his podium last time out, certainly not a bad one indeed. And then Jorge Martin and Joan Mir, and of course Ducati remains as the constructor and the team remains as VR46. Now coming forward to this weekend for yourself, Tony, I was just looking back actually at your history in Phillip Island. It's not been the kindest circuit to you, but you were fast there last year. I think you qualified on the second row, but unfortunately it didn't go to plan in the race. Just tell us what happened.
Man, I've been many years fast here. I felt fast, more than other circuit, but I never really conclude the weekend in a good way. In 2018, I was in Moto3. I was second in the last lap, on the second last lap, and I crashed in car number 5, the small one in the right, and I crashed and was going to finish in a good way for me. Then last year I was second and with a gap to the third, with a gap also with the first, but I was trying to manage the pace and I think was really almost done to finish on the podium. Starting from second row, I mean, was always a good circuit for me. So the target is this year finish the weekend in a good way as well. So yeah, this is my target, and of course I have always this mindset every race. So yeah, let's try to finish now in a good way. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good one, certainly, Tony. So before we just let you go, Tony, because I know you'll have a busy day today with track walk, etc.
No worry.
We like to ask everyone to predict the podium for Sunday in the MotoGP class. So don't worry about the sprint, just the main Grand Prix on the Sunday. Who do you think will be in the top 3 in MotoGP? Tricky one around for the pilot.
I'm gonna put Martin or Fabio. First place. Let's put Fabio, Martin, Brett Binder.
Okay, not bad, not bad. Not Jack Miller at his home race, no? Don't worry.
I hope everyone going in the podium.
Exactly. I mean, there was 7 riders within 1 second last year, so total chaos. But no, thank you very much for joining us anyway, Tony. Good luck this weekend. We know, of course, it's going to be a fun weekend out there on the bike for you. And throughout the remaining 5 rounds of 2023, the very best of luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Jack. You're the best.
Thank you.
Have a nice
See you,
one.
Tony. Okay, so that's going to be Tony Arbolino's team then. Of course, he's brought in his great mate Fabio Quartararo. Not much of a surprise there, who joins Brad Binder in the gold team. And certainly Brad Binder this weekend in Phillip Island. Well, Phillip Island, everyone's usually in the mix. So Brad Binder will definitely be up there with the way that he's been riding recently too. Jorge Martin, of course, he stays in silver. Now, you might have in your team maybe have him in gold, but it's always not a bad idea either to have a real top rider in your silvers too. And then Joan Mir joins, partly because he was a very, very cheap option, but also Joan recently has proven that he's starting to get back up there in terms of the positions and the feeling that he needs on that Honda RC213V. So good to see Joan being brought in. The constructor, of course, remains as Ducati as always, and Muni VR46 as the team. It's going to be an interesting weekend here in Phillip Island. Of course, we know what the weather can be like in Phillip Island. It can be absolutely blazing sunshine 1 second, and then the next second it can be rainy and windy and very cold indeed. Hopefully we avoid some of that rain and wind this weekend, and we have a nice dry weekend going forward. But it is going to be very interesting just to see how it goes. As we do say, that race last year, 7 riders within 1 second. I think it was the most riders we've ever had within a second at the flag in a MotoGP race. So it's certainly going to be quite a lot of chaos this weekend. Let us know who your money's on in the title race as well, Jorge Martin or Pecco Bagnaia. Of course, Martin is the chaser in that scenario after a dramatic weekend out last time where he crashed out 3 seconds in the lead there in Indonesia. So let us know who you think on that one. But thank you very much for watching along. That's going to be it here from the MotoGP Fantasy Preview Live. Enjoy the action all this weekend, and we'll see you next time.